Said we are going to be doing power rankings this week. It is Friday, so I figured it is appropriate to do the power rankings. I think, every Friday I'm going to try to do this. So, yeah, we're going to continue with it. We do have a little change for it. So we were doing some graphics here for the National League. If you do like these, please let me know in the comments. I'm just starting them, so if there is some technical difficulty, I do apologize, but I don't think there should be. So, yeah, just wanted to, go over these and just talk about my team. So, yeah, let's go. We're going to start off with, of course, the number 15 team, which is going to be the Colorado Rockies. Now, as you can see, the positives for them, well, it's Ryan McMahon. McMahon has been doing really, really well for them this year, been a real breakout hitter. Was a really good player in the past, but just has done extraordinary this year and has done just really, really well. So he's been a real bright spot. And the negatives after is everything else. There's really not much positive things for the Rockies right now. I would say Ryan McMahon, I think some of their younger players as well, but really they haven't been performing this year anyways. So I'd really just go with Ryan McMahon. I think that he's been a real breakout player, and we all know the Rockies aren't that good. Not a surprise here. Not a surprise they landed 15. Not going to spend too much time on. The next team we have is going to be the number 14 team, of course, the Miami Marlins. Now, the Marlins, as you can see, are 9-24. The positives for them are question mark, which means they don't really have any positives. I think it's a pretty extreme drop-off from last year, as they were a playoff team. They were a team that surprised a lot of people, looked like they had somewhat of a bright future, and now they're just kind of stuck. The negatives, of course, injuries. Their pitching was the thing that the Marlins really had as their identity for the past few years. They've had guys like Sandy Alcantara, of course, Sixto Sanchez even a year back, Yuri Perez, who we thought was going to be great, all these great young pitchers, and it's kind of deteriorating before our eyes. I mean, they still have some good ones, but Jesus Luzardo's hurt, Yuri Perez is hurt, Sandy Alcantara's hurt, so they're all hurt. So that's why I do have the negatives and injuries, because do I think they would have been an amazing team without these injuries? No, I don't. But at the same time, they're definitely not helping, and when you have a team that doesn't have the best offense, is reliant on pitching, when you have so many injuries, it's going to be a big negative. For the offense as well, I did put underperformance. So, yeah, it's just basically every single player on this offense is underperforming. Luis Arias is really the only league average hitter right now, and he's going pretty below his standards for what you expect from him. You expect him to be one of the best hitters in baseball, and he's just not being that right now. So, I think that, with all the underperformance they've had, all the pitching injuries they've had, I think that it's just not been a great season for the Marlins, obviously, being at 29-24. So they really need to step it up, and hoping to see better play in the future. But it looks like they'll be sell as the deadline, and they really have not done well so far. The next team we have is going to be the St. Louis Cardinals at 13. Now, this could be low for the Cardinals, but I do want to just mention 14 and 15 are in a tier of their own, just being bad. The two worst teams in the National League, pretty heavily. I mean, pretty clearly. So every team now from probably 13 to, I'd say 13 to 6 are really, really close. But it's because everyone's really bunched up in the National League this year. So as much as the Cardinals are only one game ahead of the Rockies and the Marlins, one spot ahead of the Rockies and Marlins, at the same time, they're definitely not on that scale. They're definitely way better. So just want to make that clear so Cardinals fans don't hate me. So the Cardinals here are 14 and 17. Some positives. Wilson Contreras, he has been great. Swinging the bat, really, really incredible. Mason Wynn has been amazing as well, really breaking out at shortstop. Was always a great defender all throughout his professional career, but the hitting has really taken a turn for the best so far this year, which is really, really intriguing, and hopefully he can be a big part of the future. Lance Lynn has been a very big surprise. He's been really solid for the Cardinals, honestly, which is something I did not expect. I did not think he was going to be that good of a pitcher, but he's been really good, so props to him. Sonny Gray has been the ace they signed him for, was in Cy Young voting last year for a reason. Is an elite pitcher in this league, and has proven it this year with the Cardinals. So, yeah, he's been pretty great. The bullpen also been pretty great. Andrew Kitteridge, Ryan Helsley, Jojo Romero. That's a 7-8-9 that really, really shuts out teams. So the bullpen is great. Two of the starting pitchers are great. Two of the hitters are great. So why are they 14 and 17, and why are they 13 on this list? Well, everything else is horrible. The pitching staff after these two guys has been horrible, just so bad. The offense has been horrendous. I mean, stars like Nolan Arenado, Paul Goldschmidt have been bad. So just there's really not much positives outside of the 5 things I just listed. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff, but there's a lot more bad stuff. And it's just, you cannot catch a break with the Cardinals. They finally find some good pitching, and the offense forgets how to hit baseball. So really cannot get any breaks for your Cardinals fan right now. Really just unfortunate. So hoping they can do better in the future. The 12th team I have here is going to be the Pittsburgh Pirates. Now, the Pirates are 14-18, started out the season really well, but have regressed over the past few weeks a little bit. The positive you can see, Joey Bart has been a great trade piece since coming over from San Francisco, has done really, really well. Connor Joe has been a really great hitter for them. Alika Williams also been really solid, outperforming expectations. Ryan Reynolds, really good as well, just Mr. Reliable for the Pirates there. Jared Jones has been phenomenal. I've talked about him a little bit on the show, but man, he has been great since being called up by the Pirates. Made the opening day roster for a reason, made the rotation for a reason, has been incredible so far, and has been really the ace of that staff. Josh Fleming out of the bullpen has been a really solid middle of the bullpen arm, so he's been good there. And the prospect pool, they have a lot of prospects I think can come up very soon and make real impacts on this team. I think Paul Skeens is the big one. You also look at guys like Andy Rodriguez, who probably would be if he wasn't hurt. So I think they have a lot of good prospects as well that are going to come up soon, going to make an impact, and I think that's a big positive for the Pirates here. Some negatives, Mitch Keller. You just extended Keller to be your young ace of this team, and he has not been good this year. Really has struggled a lot. So if you're a Pirates fan, really hoping that he can turn that around and do really well. So that's all you're hoping. And then after that, it's just the pitching all around. The rotation outside of Jared Jones has been horrible. They've had some okay performances from Mark Gonzalez and other pitchers on the rotation, but Mark Gonzalez is hurt now. Other guys have started to be inconsistent, so you're starting to see why I was so timid on this team going into the season. And the bullpen has been horrible as well. I mean, outside of Josh Fleming, David Bednar has been really struggling. Chapman has been really struggling. So there are some good pieces here for the Pirates team, but in a really stacked NL where all the teams are kind of bunched together, I'm not sure where the Pirates fit, and that's why I do have them at number 12 here. At number 11, I have, surprisingly, the Washington Nationals. Now, the Nationals are only one game below 500, which is an insane mark right now for where the team used to be. Some positives, you do have C.J. Abrams. Abrams, since coming over in the Juan Soto trade from San Diego, has really become a franchise player for Washington, has become a premier shortstop in this league, started hitting great this year. His defense has always been nice, so he's been a real big positive. Jesse Winker, who you signed basically to a nothing deal, has been a really great piece for you, a great left-handed bat in that lineup. And if it comes to it, he can be a really good trade piece at the deadline as well. So he's been a really solid pickup for them. It's been a really good signing. And, Trevor Williams, who signed a 2-year deal last year, has been a great pitcher for them this year. Really, really solid. Was really good with the Mets before signing with the Nationals, and has proven to the Nationals why it was a good signing. And I think he's going to be a really good trade piece at the deadline as well. Who knows if the Nationals are even going to sell at the deadline at this point with how good they've been, but hey, we'll have to see. For negatives, Patrick Corbin. I mean, he's just one of the worst pitchers in baseball, but you only got 1 year in his contract left, so that's good. For injuries, you got a lot of them, mainly Josiah Gray. He's one of your big pitchers, and he is hurt already, so that's something you're hoping he can get back soon, but, some other injuries as well, like Joey Gallo, so you're hoping with that. You're hoping he can come back soon as well. Mackenzie Gore, that wasn't one of the positives I did not mention, but yeah, he's been another great pitcher for them. With Josiah Gray back, I think Gray, Gore can form a really nasty 1-2, and if they sign a real ace this offseason, someone who's available, I think that pitching staff can become really, really good, and this team can transform. Going into the top 10 now, I have the San Francisco Giants. Now, the Giants, some positives with them are that the pitching has been incredible. Logan Webb, Jordan Hicks mainly, those two guys have been really locked down. Jordan Hicks has become an amazing starter after being a mediocre reliever all these years, so props to him. Patrick Bailey, I mean, man, this guy's a monster, turning into one of the best catchers in baseball, becoming really, really good. So, hey, props to him. Giants found their replacement to Buster Posey. I mean, he's been that good, and he's hitting this year as well. Great defense, great framing, all-around great catcher. Lamont Wade has been an amazing piece of the offense, along with Patrick Bailey. really is hitting the ball well and is just having a great monster offensive season. The negatives, though, are the rest of the offense. I mean, outside of those two guys, every single player is underperforming. No one's doing really that well. So you're just hoping that outside of these two guys, someone can start to step up, can start to perform, and that's really your only hope right now if you're a Giants fan. So that's why I do have him at number 10. At number 9, I have the division rival San Diego Padres, who are 16 and 18. So some positives for them are Jurickson Profar has been a monster since signing back with them. Really a surprise there. Jake Cronenworth has been great this year after struggling last year. Fernando Tatis Jr., another great bat. I mean, we know how good he is. Dylan Cease, since being traded, has been such a good arm for them. So consistent, doing really, really well. The bullpen has also been really solid. I mean, guys you picked up kind of out of nowhere, like Enyel De Santos has been a really good arm. Robert Suarez has been nice out of the back end. You've had Yuki Matsui. He's been as advertised coming over from Japan. So yeah, the bullpen been really, really good, and that's a big positive there. Negatives though, Joe Musgrove. He has been really bad this season. I don't know what's going on with him, but man, he has not been good. Really, really struggling. Manny Machado, same as Joe Musgrove, he has been really, really struggling, coming off of off-season surgery, so I think that could be hindering his ability a little bit. But we know Manny, and we know how good he is, so I'm not too worried for the long term. Michael King. Now this is a big one. King was, of course, the biggest part of the Soto trade coming over. He was supposed to be a really good young pitcher for this Padres rotation that could anchor it for a really long time, and he has just not been that good. He's been not good at all. I don't see any positives in him right now. He's really been struggling, and the Padres need him to get better. 8, we have the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now, some positives with the Diamondbacks are new offensive additions. Jock Peterson has been doing really well. Blaze Alexander, when coming up, has been doing well. Randall Grichuk has been doing well. So the offensive additions have been really good. Zach Gallen, man, this guy's just an ace. I mean, he's so good. For the negatives, though, you have pitching injuries. Merrill Kelly, Eduardo Rodriguez, two guys you were heavily relying on, are both out for a significant amount of time here. So that's not great. You did sign Jordan Montgomery, but he hasn't really found his stride yet with Arizona. So hoping that he can to fill in with these pitching injuries, which have been pretty big negatives right now. Gabby Moreno, he has not been hitting the ball well. Was a real breakout star for you guys last year, especially in the playoffs. I think he balances the lineup really, really well, and it's tough to find such an elite hitting catcher nowadays. So, hoping he can hoping he can get it going and help this lineup out. Ketel Marte, I think I meant to put him in the positives actually, so we'll just ignore that. But yeah, he's been really, really good. I mean, that's a mistake on my part. I apologize. So yeah, I definitely meant to put him in the positives. So ignore that there. But yeah, Ketel Marte, he's been as advertised. He's been the Ketel Marte we all know of. So good. So yeah, I mean, he's one of the best players in baseball for a reason. And their franchise star. Number 7, we have the Cincinnati Reds at 16 and 15. The positives, the rotation, been really, really good. Andrew Abbott, Hunter Green, Nick Lodolo, all been really solid. Frankie Montas, good as well. The bullpen, Alexis Diaz, Emilio Pagan, Brent Suter, all really great arms there. Ellie, he's been so good this year. I mean, he's been so good. Spencer Steer, I mean, these two guys have really been anchoring the offense right now. Two young infielders that Reds fans are watching for the future, and two guys that are really going to represent the organization. So, yeah, the problem is the rest of the offense is sucking. It's been really, really bad. I think right now Ellie and Spencer Steer are doing so well that it's shining out how bad the rest of the offense has been. Guys you signed like Heimer Candelario have not been doing good. Jonathan India has been struggling. So Ellie and Spencer Steer right now are really carrying it on their backs, 16 and 15. I think a positive, though, to turn this is when everyone does start performing, assuming they do, this team is going to take off. I had them winning the NL Central at the start of the year. I'm going to continue with that take. I think they're a great team. And, yeah, I'm really excited to watch them. Number 6, we have the New York Mets. Now, the Mets might be a little too high for people's likings, but I think they've had really great wins, and I'm really high in them. So for positives, the DH tandem. DJ Stewart has been doing really well this year, kind of surprisingly. So that's been a big bat to their lineup. JD Martinez since signing has been doing really well. So just the DHs overall has been something that's been really positive for them. they haven't had a real elite DH for a long time in New York. So, nice job here to finally find one and finally find some that do have a huge impact on the game. Brandon Nimmo, he's been really, really good. He's Brandon Nimmo. We all know how good he is. So, Francisco Lindor, now he started off the season really, really poor, like usual. Mets fans overreacted, always. But since then, he's been doing really solid, really well, and had a big walk-off hit yesterday, which we will talk about in the third segment. So, positive that he is starting to do really well and get it going. Luis Severino, he's been incredible since coming over from the Yankees. A big question mark of a signing, as he did do so horrible last year, but has found his footing in the other borough of New York and Queens. Done really, really well and been a great help to this pitching staff. Jose Butto, also been great since being called up, has been a forefront at this rotation, been doing really, really well. Negatives, the offense, at times it's on, but when it's off, it's off. It's very inconsistent, so I do think they need to change that around, but still a good team. Have them at number 6, narrowly missing the top 5, 16 and 15. 6 is where we start to get into playoff territory, so this is where it starts to get serious, and these are my real elite teams. Top 5 now. Number 5, Chicago Cubs, 19 and 13. Cubs, positives. Mike Tauchman, been out of nowhere, been a really fantastic bat for the Cubs. I don't know why or how, but he's been great, so props to him. Michael Busch, he's been really great as well. Since coming over from the Dodgers, been a really great bat for them. Really has solidified that lineup. Been just a great addition. Shota Imanaga, I had a whole segment on him yesterday, so if you want to go over that, please do. I go deeper into him, but yeah, he's the air leader right now. Been really, really great and just doing a great job there. Was an iffy signing when he first came over, but has proven a lot of people wrong. Javier Assad, also doing great. Another young pitcher for this Cubs team. Doing really, really great. Just helping that rotation out. The offense has had a lot of injuries, mainly Cody Bellinger and Seiya Suzuki, which are in the negatives. So you're hoping these guys can get healthy, but you don't really know when the timetables are, and they are such big additions to they are such big pieces to your lineup that it is a big negative for them to be out right now, and you're hoping they can come back rather soon. Number 4 is the surprising Milwaukee Brewers. Now, I was not very high in this team coming into the season, but they've really surprised me. Colin Ray and Freddie Peralta have been really, really good this year, really anchoring that rotation. I thought it would be not that good after Corbin Burns and Brandon Woodruff both will not be pitching for the Brewers this year for different reasons. But Colin Ray and Freddie Peralta have really held it down. The problem is outside of that, it's pretty bad, as you see in the negatives, the pitching depth. So I think these two guys are really great, but after that, there's a lot of question marks in the rotation that I think need to be fixed as we go through the season. Joe Ross has been bad. Wade Miley just got Tommy John, so need to answer some of those questions. The bullpen has been really great. The closer, Adner Uribe, who also just got suspended 6 games for fighting, has been the negative, which is kind of interesting that the bullpen is so good without their closer. So that is interesting, but that's been another positive. The entire offense, has this offense been so, so good. It's been elite and just really surprising me. Number 3, I have the Philadelphia Phillies at 21 and 11. Positives, the entire offense, just so, so good. We know this. But I want to give a special shout out to Alec Boehm. Boehm has been incredible this year, living up to his pedigree as a top draft pick. Has been so, so good, and just kind of came out of nowhere with this. He's been really incredible, so props to him. The rotation, the rotation's been incredible. Zach Wheeler, incredible. Aaron Nola, incredible. Spencer Turnbull, incredible. Ranger Suarez, incredible. Just so good. The bullpen depth does need a little work, though. It's still pretty good, but you have some guys underperforming, mainly Sir Anthony Dominguez and Gregory Soto, so I would think you need to get those settled out before you go into the rest of the year. Now, 2-1, we all know who it is. It's the Dodgers and Braves. I have the Dodgers at 2 and the Braves at 1. Now, for positives for the Dodgers, I have, yes, everything is a positive. The negatives is the pitching depth. I think a lot of their pitchers have some injury risk, are a little bit on the questionable side of staying healthy the entire season. So that is not great, but everything else is pretty great. So I think if everyone could stay healthy, which is a big if, they'll be really good. They could be number 1. I personally have the Braves at number 1. The positives, the offense and the pitching. Everything's incredible. The negatives, of course, Spencer Strider, their best pitcher, getting hurt. Not what you want to see. not good. So obviously you're lacking that true ace. Max Fried is really good, but I don't know if he's that true ace for you guys. And with the pitching, how iffy it's been in the playoffs for the past few years, I think that you need to find some more pitching somewhere in your organization. So, all right, so that was our first segment talking about the National League and some power rankings. It did go a little long, so I do apologize for that. But yeah, I was using these kind of graphics for the first time. I have used graphics before on this channel, but that was more the first time for that kind. So if you do like it, let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments if you want to keep going with it. So yeah, we'll be moving on to our second segment, which is talking about the American League power rankings. That should say American League, not National League. I'll change that right now. But so yeah, we'll be going into those, and we'll be seeing you after the break. So thanks, and bye.